viewers on the internet, hello! Things are about to be very, very exciting. Not only have we offered Andy Carroll a contract for 60 grand a week at 5.25 million, because business is not over with Andy. He's still got a point to prove, bless him. And he's basically someone that we don't have, and he's English. That's a plus point as well. So he comes in, hopefully, that should be secure today. Not only that, folks, a game against Manchester City and a Champions League draw. I've started off in an extremely energetic mood, but my God, am I excited. It should be a very good episode. Ah, Pastore's not being sold. It should, though, be a really good episode. Man City to come later on then, on the Saturday, the Champions League draw on the Thursday, and Andy Carroll should be wrapped up just before then. And so far, things have been going a little bit hit and miss, of course. 2 wins, 1 defeat. Wins in games you'd expect, but obviously now we've lost to Spurs. The question is, are we better than Manchester City, a side that we've taken players from, only one of which can play? Joe Hart is the only one that can play. Aguero and De Bruyne still out injured for us today, which is going to be a bit of a shame. But regardless of that, hopefully today should be exciting. The Champions League draw is always exciting. Liverpool haven't been in the Champions League for a very long time. Of course, in real life, they have to go through a playoff to get there. But in this one, of course, because of our second place finish, we're straight into the group stages. And Andy Carroll then, as injury prone as he may well be, has got some unfinished business left at Liverpool. And I think it's about time we brought him back for a cut price deal of £6 million. He's completely different to everything we've got. And unlike Peter Crouch, can still run a little bit. So it may well be useful against teams that simply we can't break down with fancy football. So Andy Carroll comes in. He's 2 stars. Oh dear, oh dear. Okay, they feel like Andy Carroll can no longer play in this division. Jordan Henderson, of course, signed with Andy Carroll at a similar time period. So we'll get him to sort of welcome him to the club again. Not that he doesn't know his way around. Of course he does. Now again, that might look like a foolish signing. There'll be people going, why on earth have you just signed Andy Carroll? You could have got Llorente, you could have got Negredo. I just think that there's a little bit of sentimentality in that. Apparently, Emre Can is expecting the squad to be strengthened during the window. Emre Can, Aguero, Williams, De Bruyne, Salah, N'Golan, Joe Hart, and Andy Carroll. I don't know what your issue is, mate. If that's not strengthened, I don't think we're going to be able to strengthen it. They're asking about Andy Carroll's injuries. I'm going to avoid those at all costs. Right, the 24th then. Tomorrow is the day that we're going to look forward to. I mean, the Champions League's always an exciting time. I think there's some qualifiers, actually, going on as we speak. Oh, I've just noticed. I was brought a cup of tea by Ellie, my girlfriend, and it's the Liverpool mug. I mean, it fits in as well. So that is the Champions League. United go through. I mean, take a look through while I have a little sip of this. Lovely then. Yeah, you can see loads of sides have gone through. The Celtic are in as well. Manchester United, Inter go through. Valencia, Porto. Some decent sides have made their way through. We've been given 10.9 million just for being in the group stages. Isn't that ridiculous? Either way, we'll take the money, as because of how much we've spent, we kind of begin to need the money. Right. Oh, I tell you what. I thought the draws were over. How wrong was I? We've also got the EFL Cup draw. I mean, how many draws can you get in one video? That's the big question, Ben. I mean, will there be another draw against Manchester City? We're playing Hull, and Chelsea will play Manchester United. Holy smokes, that's set to be an interesting tie in quite the early rounds of a League Cup game. It's always interesting to see if the bigger sides will play their best teams in those games. We always tend to rotate, so I assume other teams will as well. What's the asterisk next to Juventus for? Did they win it? Is that because they're holders? Yeah, previous winners of the competition. Right, we are... Oh, God. We're in pot 3. Liverpool not been in the Champions League for a while. Pot 3. That's going to be... Oh, boy. So, on a bad day, it could be Bayern Munich or Juventus with Barcelona. It could be bad. Right, we'll go through the first 2 pots then quite swiftly, and we'll see which ones we can avoid. Now, of course, we can't go into the groups where there is an English team in there already, so Bayern are avoided, Shakhtar are avoided, as are Arsenal and Leverkusen, of course, but... Oh, that's unnecessary. Benfica, Barcelona, and Dynamo Kiev. We can't go in this one or that one. So it's Juventus, Basel. Basel, of course, the team that Liverpool played in the Champions League last time they were in it. So it could be them again. That's Valencia. We can't be in this one. Oh, God. Okay. There's 2 there that aren't very nice. There's one, and I dare say Moscow Porto is the one that is a little bit nicer. This is the one to avoid. Ajax, Ajax, I feel so sorry for you. Okay, is it Moscow Porto? Is it Madrid Napoli? Boom. It's Madrid Napoli. Right, that's not going to be easy. That's going to be a tough group, and it could get even tougher saying that, Monaco. That's a great little group, by the way. Bayern, Tottenham, Inter and Monaco. Oh, dearie me. We could get Celtic, Hoffenheim. Some interesting sides still out there. Celtic, that's quite a fun group as well. Celtic, Ajax, Atletico Madrid and Paris Saint-Germain. And then you've got Hoffenheim in there. So Copenhagen from Denmark are going to be with us in our group. Real Madrid, though, I mean, that's never easy. Zidane, of course, the manager of them, won the competition in real life this season. And Napoli, I know, they're no disgrace either, are they? Who have they got still in this side then? Have they sold players like Higuain? I think Higuain's been on his way, but players like Koulibaly, very, very solid, very good. Mertens, of course, as well. Hamsik, still there. Lorenzo Insigne as well. They've got some bloody good players. That's going to be interesting. Where did Higuain go? I mean, if I don't check, someone will inquire, so we're going to have a look. Is he not there? Where's Gonzalo? Surely he's here. Is he not here? Hello? Oh, I spilled my tea. Oh, God. Okay, well, we'll carry on regardless. He went to Juventus. Did I just not see that then? I can't have seen it. Oh, it was 2 years ago, of course. Okay, well, regardless, it was the start of last season. 65 million. He did all right. I'm glad we avoided them. There's tea everywhere. It's a disaster. Okay, it's like a H1Z1 video all of a sudden. Right, let's crack on then. We've got the game coming up against Manchester City. Squad improvement-wise, I don't think we're going to do too much else, if I'm completely honest. We've been offered a few players there. Matuidi wouldn't be a bad option, but we've got a lot of players similar to him. Di Maria, not really a player that fits in right now, considering who we've got. What's my immediate reaction to the group? I will let them know that I'm happy with it. I tend to, you might have noticed this if you ever see me do the press conferences, I tend to just go for the second one down. It's always quite positive. Rarely is it going to cause a problem. It's the best one to go for. That said, I'm now going to click the third one, then again go for the second one the entire time. Just because of that, just in my experience, if you want to do the team talks or the press conferences, sorry, just click the second one down over and over again. Right, a few players lacking match fitness. I guess Sacco is kind of the unspoken of player in all of this. He may well be, and let's be honest about this, may well be better than someone like Joel Matip. Like, on the surface, they're quite similar. Matip is given a 4-star current ability, but I actually think him and Sacco, I mean, we'll compare the two. I think they're actually pretty evenly matched, comparatively. Yeah, you can see there, look. Sacco's got him physically, mentally just a little bit, but then I guess across the board, you'd probably give it to Matip on balance if you look at attributes. I mean, Sacco's got him technically. Mentally, Sacco's got him again, and physically, very, very similar. So, I don't know, could be the secret weapon that we've got, but I quite like having the back two of Van Dijk and Matip for now. And that brings us slowly but surely to today's game against Manchester City, where that will be our back two partnership. And of course, we've got Kolasinac there as well. Aguero not quite fit for this one. Lallana, though, on his way back, which is quite useful. Andy Carroll also needs to be registered, I've just realised. So let's get that sorted out before we move further with the save. There he is, Big Andy. Welcome back to Liverpool. And let's see then, what we're going to do team-wise. I think we're going to keep it relatively the same. There's an argument to say that we could bring in Keita back into the team, swap Salah out, stick him on the bench. I mean, this formation has worked out pretty well in the past. I mean, striker-wise, we either drop Firmino back into the attacking playmaker role, or the advanced playmaker role, or we bring in Lallana, probably too early for him, and Rayshan probably not. Divock Origi up front with Firmino in behind is an option. I think we'll start like this, though. We've got lots of options on the bench if we need to change things around, so that's not too bad. And we're going to take the risk today and not to put a goalkeeper on the bench. We're also going to put Andy Carroll on the bench for... Oh, this is quite tough. I think Wijnaldum just... Okay, right then. Let's get out there, see what we can do. Attacking fluid is the philosophy. Andy Carroll can have the number 9. He gets it back. I mean, he did have it once before. Sweet Carroll 9. I spilt tea all over the desk. What an idiot boy. There we go. Right, not a problem. Sorry, folks. This has been a bit of a haphazard episode so far. Right, Norwich, Manchester City, Liverpool, Manchester City. Kicking off, I don't know where that came from. Icardi up top. Carrasco, Silva, Lozano, Fernando, Ilkay Gundogan, and then we've got Johnny at left back, Otamendi, Company, and Aurier with Bravo in goal. A weakened side, I dare say. Icardi's not bad. A lot of people suggesting we should have gone after him instead of Aguero, but no. Joe Hart in goal. Klein, Van Dijk, Matip, Kolasinac, Henderson and Nagolan in the centre, Mane one side, Keita the other, Pastore in behind, Roberto Firmino, and we're still looking for Javier Pastore, really, to prove himself in a Liverpool shirt. It was a bit of a gamble when we signed him. He didn't really do anything for us last season. Coutinho and Lallana played far more than he did. Injury problems, though, that really kept Pastore out. So here we are then. It starts 0-0, as traditionally it does. And let's hope that Liverpool and Manchester City can have a good game of football, but at the end of it, Liverpool can win. Let's hope there's still enough tea in this to actually drink it. Lovely old job. Right, let's see how we get on then. We're going for the, is this the close camera angle? It is. We could switch it up to director for something a little bit fancy. We'll see what comes of it. We'll have to wait and see, though, as Pastore gathers it. We're still with the sort of the close angle to begin with. As Klaslak launches it upfield to absolutely nobody on his weak foot. That's not what you want to see, really. And now it gives City a chance to probe. And despite the fact they had a poor year, they've still got some really good players. Carrasco is a really good addition, as is Icardi. And David Silva, he's been around a while, but he can't beat former teammate Joe Hart, who just about keeps it out. So it's 0-0, 4 or so minutes to go. David Silva with the corner kick for Manchester City. And it's whether we can beat sides that are this good. We've improved our team across the board. Sadly for us, though, not everybody is available for today's game. And, of course, against Spurs, it was proven that we came a little bit unstuck against one of the better sides. Against the lesser sides, I'm expecting us simply to roll over most teams, especially the bottom half teams. Easily done every single game. Shouldn't be too much problem. But it's this sort of game where are we going to be able to pick up the 3 points? Last season, I do believe we beat City. Maybe not twice, but certainly once. And it's whether we can repeat that again going forward this season. So far, 10 minutes in, little highlights. But it's going to be Claudio Bravo to fire it forward. Of course, Joe Hart with a point to prove today against his former club. Pep Guardiola decided it wasn't for him. He's returned to the Premier League with us. And I must say, I do think he's a step up from Mignolet and Karius. So he should have a good enough game for us today for me to be happy. Let's hope. As Keita on this left-hand side, looks like he wants to try and race his fullback. Goes inside to Pastore. Doesn't quite reach him. And Company will clean it up with the help of Odier. Chips it forward to David Silva, who first time, or second touch even, gives it to Carrasco. Fernando now in the centre of midfield. Not an area where I think City are particularly strong, to be honest. As Lozano fires it forward, Matip does a really good defensive header. But they're coming forward again. Icardi, he's found the run of Silva, who, wow, just misses the post. Joe Hart looked a little bit out of position, but a nice move from City that we have to be aware of. And we're actually going to switch things up to the counter-attack. We've got pacey wingers on either side. I think defensively we're a lot stronger this year than we have been in previous years. So let's just sit back, hold it. Henderson and Nainggolan should provide really good cover for our back line as well. We'll just see if can we pick apart this City side. Can we find an opening or a gap, especially if their midfield get caught in possession, maybe something like that? That's where I think our goals will come from today. And of course, we've got lots of flexibility. If we need to change things around, we can do. Firmino can drop slightly deeper. We can bring players on in his position, bring on a player like Divock Origi, even Andy Carroll at this point, and with Mohamed Salah there too as well. Don't forget, if our wingers aren't performing, there's a straight swap option for us in those wider areas. Right, so far, not the best performance from us. I'm going to say unlucky, boys. Things haven't gone right. And tactically, there's a few things we may be able to change. Let's see how have we fared so far. Let's say City have had a little bit more of the ball. I think if we dominate the ball more, we've got a slightly, I dare say, we've got a slightly better side. So that's what we're going to try. We're going to try and dominate the ball more. We're going to switch to a control style of play under the fluid banner. Keep the side the same. Give them 20 minutes. See what they can produce, and then from that point on, hopefully make some changes if it doesn't go right. If not, we should score a goal. So we'll see what happens. If we go behind, of course, that will force changes quicker or sooner rather than later. You can see that Pastore 6.3 really doesn't play well for me. I don't know what it is. And it's going to be City with another chance coming forward with it. Odier knocks it forward towards David Silva on the right wing position. Right-footed, gets the ball in. Lozano's there. It's deflected in off Icardi, who seems to be claiming it and does. Mano Icardi, I mean, it's not really a striker's finish, is it? Let's put it that way. But it is a goal regardless. Silva on this right-hand side does really, really well on his weaker foot. What a delivery that is, all things considered. Defensively, we should probably be getting that away. It's off the back of Icardi. So, it's not really a great goal. But they'll probably take that, you'd imagine. And they're coming forward again. Regardless of what happens here, I think changes are going to have to happen. Whether we go slightly more direct or not, I don't know. Hart gathers that, though. And I think we will go slightly more direct. An attacking approach, slightly more direct passing. Anything else we can change there? Thinking about it. Look for the overlap more, but let's exploit the flanks slightly less, which might seem a little bit crazy, but that's what we're going to do. And we'll try and bring Mane slightly further back, offer a little bit more protection to Klein. In the centre, Henderson's on the yellow card. We're going to withdraw him. And not only that, but we're actually going to bring on... It's an option. Is it Origi, Carroll, or Salah here? Or is it a mixture of all three? In fact, Salah's going to come on for Keita, who's not had the impact I was hoping he would do. And now this is the question, is it? Do you give it 5 or 10 minutes, or do you switch up the forward line? Andy Carroll is a completely different kettle of fish, but against a side like City, where we've had little to nothing so far, it might seem crazy, but I might risk it with him. Divock Origi's not that far away from Firmino pace-wise, so it's not too much of a change. And we've got lots of pace out wide. We'll go with Carroll. It's a bit of a gamble to do this, but target man attack on Andy Carroll. In fact, actually, if you put him on target man support, he may well do it to bring other players into play. I think we need to start hitting early crosses rather than looking for the overlap and getting the ball into him more and more. Less passing into space, more playing it up towards him. Yes, that's what we'll do. Okay, right then. I'm just making sure this is the right move for us here. I think it is. We can get some team talks on the go, actually. Hopefully this will aid some of these guys. Andy Carroll back in a Liverpool shirt. Scored a brace, I think, once against City. Really good goals. Against Joe Hart, incidentally. Can he come on today and do the business? This is still the highlight after their chance. So I'm hoping it doesn't need a goal, because we've made the 3 changes now and we could have our backs against the wall. Brilliant news. With half an hour to go, we've made the triple change. We probably would have made it anyway. We're changing up our system. We'll take it off fluid as well, actually. We'll go more structured. We don't need to see that again. We know what happened. And hopefully in the last half an hour, we can perhaps find a way to break them down. I think the problem is now that we're going to try and play in a style of play that City might quite enjoy, actually. They might have a lot more of the ball. But the idea is that we get down these wings more, and it's not really happening. They're controlling the play really well. Despite the fact they've had a poor year last year, they've still got some good technical footballers. And at the moment, we're being run ragged. And it's at this point in the game where you see Andy Carroll not close anybody down that you kind of wish, as Joe Hart makes a good save, you'd brought in Divock Origi. But never mind. Let's see if we can find an opening somehow. We're going to start pumping it into the box as well. We're actually going to go fully sort of Route 1-ish. In fact, should we go less direct and actually go for the Route 1 style and try and pick off the scraps? That might be the option. Silva on this side. Kolasinac, great challenge. And straight back on his feet as well. Forward towards Andy Carroll, whose touch is good, but we don't see any more of this. I think at this stage, we're going to have to start going more Route 1. Don't be as flexible, bit more disciplined. Stick to your positions as well. I mean, it doesn't look good though, does it? We don't seem to have found the answers today to a City side that should be weaker, you think, after buying some of their better players. But when we don't actually get to play those players, it doesn't make all that much of a difference. Their squad's still relatively strong. This is me trying to justify the fact we're probably going to lose 2 or 3-0. So when Dijk gets up, Kolasinac. There's still a little bit of time, though. I mean, that sort of ball, admittedly, we are going Route 1. Andy Carroll's movement, not the best. And it's going to give City another chance to come forward to the back post. Carrasco does it. And all of a sudden, things are looking rough. We've got 2 wins, 2 defeats. The problem being, and this is similar to last season, actually. You've got to think, right? We didn't lose last season lose the title last season because our back end of the year was bad. It was the start of the season that was the problem. And actually, when you look at it on balance, we probably have more points now than we did last season. Is there going to be? I mean, Salah's just smashed it towards Bravo. I think we've completely abandoned our philosophy in this game, and I think this is the sort of thing where you look back retrospectively, you realise that you probably shouldn't have started Pastore, who's never played too well for us, and that the fact he's not had a big influence on the game has been a big problem as David Silva makes it 4. And in an episode which started quite hopeful with the Champions League draw and the League Cup draw and Andy Carroll's signing, it's ending in, frankly, embarrassment. We've stayed attacking the whole time. I mean, there's no point in changing it now. There's 20 seconds remaining. The worst performance I've seen us put in. I mean, I'm going to be digging out a few players based on their average rating, see who's not played well. But again, we've kind of, you can see, we've abandoned our philosophy of keeping it quite neat and tidy, getting in behind the back line. And a 4-0 defeat. I mean, I'll take the blame because it's hard for me not to at this point. I'm actually going to bollock them. I'm not happy with the performance out there. Some of them seem happy, some of them less so. Let's look at some performances there. Who's played badly? It's going to be quite a long episode here. It all started when I knocked the tea over. That was the disaster. So what am I doing here? Who's played badly? Liverpool players that have played particularly poorly. You're looking at Firmino on a 6.2 and wondering what he's actually offered today. Defensively, it's absolutely shambolic. Hart on a 5.7, Kolasinac on a 5.9. If anything, the players in front of him actually haven't done too badly. But you've got to look there, Nangolan giving the ball away an awful lot. In fact, our entire back line, that may well be to do with the fact that we start to play more direct, but we really haven't kept the ball very well at all. For our style of play, for the way we play football, that is really, really poor. Again, hands up, partly my responsibility for playing more direct, but they were cutting us open, frankly, so we had to try and change things up a little bit. Speaking of big target men, we've got some money for Benteke. But that's going to bring us to the end then. If you've enjoyed today's episode, it's been interesting to see us get picked apart, actually. It now gives us something to focus on and work on with the games coming up. We've got our Champions League group as well. How do you suspect now we'll do in that Champions League group? Leave your predictions in the comment section. Actually, for the league, 2 wins, 2 defeats. Where do you think we'll finish this season in the comment section? Let me know, and I'll read out some of the best ones next time. If you give me some reasons why, I'm always interested. We love with care then from it to mention. Until next time, I'll see you again very, very soon. Goodbye.